Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pimlico Racecourse. Naomi Tucker alongside Keith Fustel. Keith, of course, we're coming in here off the back of a huge week. Preakness 147
Yeah.
in the books. How did we pull up?
Okay. Returned okay. I mean, there's no doubt. And got a little rest. Ready to kind of bounce back up off the mat. Ready for the card this afternoon. Got my handicapping done. But everything went really smooth up in the press box all weekend. They had no hiccups. We like that. How about your week? I mean, you guys were super busy. You guys did a great job. The whole team. I was watching when I could. And phenomenal job, as always.
Thank you. Incredibly pleased what the show ended up looking. I have to give thanks to everyone here on our broadcasting team, as well as the entire Maryland Jockey Club for putting together such a terrific event. I felt like it was a very, very strong week.
Yep.
Heard lots of really good feedback. Lots of people enjoyed
That's
their
great.
time with us. I thought we had a terrific 2 highlight days, of course, Black-Eyed Susan, as well as Preakness Day. But even before that, you know, the Thursday, as well as the week leading up with all the horses training here. I know everyone on the backside was good, well taken care of.
Yes,
So
yes.
couldn't be more pleased to be part of this team here at the Maryland Jockos. I have to thank everyone. And yeah, we start again here. We have a huge Rainbow
we
Big
do.
Six carryover that is coming your way, courtesy of course, the wagering turnover over the weekend. So let's have a look at the current track conditions. We've got 8 live races coming your way. We will be running on the turf. The turf is firm and the main track is fast.
Yeah, and again, over the weekend, I talked about it leading into this week comparatively to last year. Some of the races, the quality of racing, the stretch runs, the battles, really, really good. I mean, one of the best races, you know, was that was the Murphy with Joe and ready to perform from the top of the stretch home. What a battle that was here in Baltimore. But we could spend all day talking about both cards and the stretch runs and the finishes and the payouts. But we've got this card to attack right now.
Oh, we do indeed. Now, look, when you mentioned Joe, of course, getting back on the turf for trainer Michael Trombetta, ready to perform as a Laura Futurity
Yes.
winner, who then ran on the undercard in the Breeders' Cup. So 2 very decent horses. Of course, Joe Federico Desio winner as well. What a terrific race. And congratulations, of course, to the connections of Joe. But let's get going here
All right.
with the live action that will be going on the way in about 56 minutes from now. Race number 1 starts at early pick 5. We're going to kick proceedings off on the turf here. Mile and 1/8 the distance on the beautiful lawn that you see behind us here. And Keith, let's start with the video spotlight.
Okay.
You have a video spot on the number 9, CUSH Effect, or you also have in your selection 3-year-old filly for Tim Keith. She had no early pace whatsoever. I think I'm also showing my hand here why I didn't use her.
Okay.
Did start to make a move, had to kind of move outwards ever so slightly to really, really close, but she was closing belatedly, that kind of grinder style that really gets rolling in those final sections.
Yeah, and she comes out of a race behind Pounding Music. Pounding Music, we like that. It was proven on the turf. It run
four,
good
by the
figures.
way, here,
yeah,
just making sure
yeah,
everyone
the
knows.
4-horse CUSH Effect. CUSH Effect enjoyed a great trip in turf debut. It was well meant. The 2 prior starts even took a little play, 7-1 in that race. Really like the way this horse finished up. She strode out well, I thought, leveled off nicely through the final 1/8 of a mile. Will she be able to kind of get all of that ground-saving trip again? Yet to be seen. But I think off of that effort, the ground, we're going a mile and 1/8. She looks like she can handle it.
Yeah, I believe so. So I think my only worry was she has to lay closer, because if we are going a mile and 1/8, I don't see there being an out-and-out speed battle developing in
No.
this race. So that means she'll have to be within reach, because I don't think the horses are going to back up as strongly as they would over, let's say, a mile when the pace is just a touch higher. So that's my
Yeah,
only reason
okay.
not using her in my top 4 here. I do think she's very live as we come to get to know of all these turf events here at
Yes.
Pimlico. We got deep fields lining up. I landed on Freeze the Day, the number 7
right.
for trainer Michael Stidham. Very sharp barn here on the circuit at present. 3 from 3. Finds herself on a different spot here. She was running at the fairgrounds over the winter and earlier this year, and this is going to be her 3rd time on the turf. I thought she improved significantly 2nd time on the turf, going longer, where she was able to make up a fair bit of ground late and keep on rolling. I think this is a good spot for her, and I think she's dangerous.
Every right to keep improving. Lightly raced, only going to make her 4th start here. You're right, the improvement of freshening. Stidham on the grass. I go maybe a little bit of a reach on a horse stretching out, not the angle I always like to take, Naomi, from 5.5. Now we're going out to a mile and 1/8. Melapanini B enjoyed a very good trip last time when sprinting. Closed into that race against Sanson, flimsy. Okay, horses. I love the trip.
You know, I love Sanson.
And I looked, and I looked back at the family, and Forrest Boyce, she piloted the mother around the racetrack. the family all wanted to go long. They were all mile and a 16th, mile and an eighth types on the turf. So that being said, I think Forest Boyce will get her into position. Maybe like to see one more race under her belt. But I think she's going to be okay here. I think she's going to play her. I think she's there at least till mid-stretch. I hope she can carry it home from there because we're going to get the best value, I think, here on Melapanini B for Susan Cooney.
Yeah, I have my exact as well. Yeah. You use Volgatini, your exacta. This is going to be her first time on the grass. The other Michael Stidham entry in here. Sharp morning works, though, coming into this. And looking at her pedigree, I'm assuming you did as well.
Yes.
Half-sibling to King T. Leatherbury Stakes victor, who was very, very strong that day. And if you look at that dam side, you can see that the turf seems to be very viable, very within reach for this runner.
That was dirty, right?
Sprinting,
and divining rods are about 19%. First time going long on the turf. You talked about maybe a possible paceless kind of a race. Vodkatini, I think, is going to be out there showing some pace today and certainly could carry it over this turf course. 5.897 in the opener. Let's go, Susan Cooney. Get us started.
Let's get going. That's race number 1. Race number 2 commences that early pick for Keith. You created a ticket today. I can see that you're spreading in the final leg, and the values perhaps with the single in the opener.
Yeah, I hope we can get the nickel home here in race number 2. I had to go a little bit deeper the rest of the way. We're going to single Bahama Channel. If you want to add one more, bump it up to 36, please do so. 3-5-6 in the third. Key scratch out of there. Visby was looking forward to her second start, turf debut. Take out the 2, 4, and 7 out of race number 3. Race 4, 1, 4, 7. And then we wrap it up with the 2, 5, 7, 8 maiden claimers. There you go. 16 down to 12, 5. Heavy favorite's going to be the 7 Doom Scroller. Let's try to beat that one with some prices that help boost that early pick 4. I think we get through the opener. I mean, in
then
this
we're
pick
good,
4,
huh?
I think we got a shot, a real good shot.
All right. Well, let's talk about race number 2. Let's talk about that single they included here. Mile and eighth, the distance claiming $12.5 to $10,000. Bahama Channel is your single if and Annette Eubanks. Solid veteran performer, 5-year-old gelding. He always runs his race. Does have to lay within reach, though. I feel like to be able to make a dent, we've seen him just a touch further back as of late, unless there's no pace, like last time out, where he was 2 starts back, where he was able to navigate himself a front running spot.
You're right, and there's no speed in here. No legit. Maybe 1-2 kid will go out. I think he comes out of the right kind of races. I want to see Carlos Lopez, if this guy comes away clean, be aggressive on the leader just off of. If you want to go ahead and prompt the 3 horse, go ahead. If you can steal it, maybe secure the inside. Inside's been good, played well all weekend, right, on this main track. Let's go ahead and do that. He's keyed up against the right kind. Ghost Stalker in good form, so is 1-2 kid on the dirt. Bahama Channel, my good man, is a horse that prefers Pimlico, I believe. This drop-in class might pick his head up to make that run from the back of the pack.
Yeah, he does need to break a little bit more clean. You can see that his running style has come with one run belatedly and hope that he picks up a little bit. So I threw him in underneath because of that. But yeah, Ghost Stalker, I think he could be aggressive from the inside draw as well with Centeno on board. He does step it up in here against perhaps a touch tougher. But again, another bond that's been on the roll, the Ricky Silliman bond. I was talking with him before. I was saying, you know that you've been absolutely flying. He's like, oh, don't jinx it for me. Then won again. So I think they're doing just fine.
I've got him. He's like a head or a neck or a nose short of being 5 for 8. I mean, what a run Ricky Silliman has had. And this guy here kind of bucked the bias. The 14th, I mean, inside was pretty good. Was able to go, was taken wide early, and just kind of had the best horse that day, and just whipped that field by 3 1/4. So he fits right back here.
And I don't mind the
slightest
distance.
of raises. This is like a step sideways when you're looking at
I think he's just very well spotted in here. And mile 16, that slightly added, this is not a problem. The way he was hitting the wire so strongly, that 16 doesn't worry me whatsoever. So move on to race number 3 is a maiden special weight in here. We're going 5 furlongs on the turf for fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-old. Did have that significant scratch of Visby, and look at that. We have a Rainbow Pick 6 carryover. Huge carry of $432,000, 827. That gets going here in race number 3, courtesy, of course, of that strong support of all the patrons over the last weekend during Preakness at 147, as well as Black Eyed Susan Day. So look, you'd be remiss not to be playing this Rainbow Pick 6 sequence. We do have a ticket here. I know that Tim Tulloch created one for us. Let's see how it plays it in here. He singles around 2 horses. He spreads in the opener 3, 5, 6, and 9. And then race number 4, 4, 6, and 7 singles in race number 5. That maiden 16 field, right? 16 to 12 and a half, 6 furlongs the distance. Singles on the number 7 Doom Scroller for trainer Brittany Russell, taking a steep dropping class. Let's hope that Fergal Lynch can get the job done for Tim. Race 6 and race 7, he spreads. I'll let you figure out all those numbers yourself. But then he singles again in the finale on Frightland. Another Brittany Russell, Fergal Lynch combo in here. 4-year-old gelding who's really done nothing wrong. Returns to the main track here. Held his own on the turf last time out, but did very well on debut at maiden special weight level. Looks to be the one to beat again in here. Both you and I have him on top as well. So I kind of like the way Tim plays. This is gutsy. Got 2 singles. Looking for that payout in some of the other races. $60 a ticket. That's the way to play it when you want to hit that Rainbow Pick 6, because if you find a price and we have a big price come in, you might just beat that single ticket.
Yeah, you just might. And I like it in the fact that today we've got a couple horses that are going to be 3 to 5, 4 to 5 range, and I will be taking shots against them on my ticket. Hopefully we can upset the apple cart. It's Thursday. Maybe a couple people are still hungover and miss out. We'll see. You know, I'm
They're
just being
partying all week.
I've been a little selfish. Yeah, and you know, looking at that, I would think Doom Scroller might be the most vulnerable of those heavy favorites. A horse that comes from a little bit further back, takes the class drop, but a couple interesting new shooters in there that one's got to face. So yeah, that's what I like. Then one thing about the after Preakness, we usually have this big pot to kind of sink our teeth into and to kind of concentrate on for the next 5 or 6 days. So I do like that. We hit one of these a couple years ago. The guys, we threw a ticket together. We didn't take down the whole pool, but it still paid great. Nonetheless, on that mandatory payout day, but maybe we'll take it today.
Yeah, we'll see how it fares. Of course, we'll keep you up to date, but get your chance to play it as it starts in race number 3. Plenty of time to still structure that ticket. Let's talk about race number 3. We'll start with Point Well Taken. We both have this 3-year-old filly for Shug McGahey in our exacta, and I do believe that you dug up a stat for the McGahey barn as well. Let's see what you came up with.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. On the turf, route to sprint. Oh, we're getting it. It's somewhere in the range of 41% over the last 3 years. I want to say it's about 7 for 17 with an ROI. Let's see. Drum roll, please. 351. So that's good. And I actually, I'll check out the form. Checked it out this morning and look, my man Dan Elman, he does a great job. Got a chance to talk to him a little bit over Preakness week. If you don't get a chance, I mean, there's another guy paying very close attention to this circuit and gives out great information. So it's sometimes we land on similar stats. And this happened to be one of them after I looked back this morning after I sent it in. So, hey, 7 for 17. How about with McGahey here, 10 for 17 the money. Routes to sprints, 351. Love that stat there. Key scratch. Visby was going to be part of that. Going to be part of that pace, but turning back in distance, I think this horse will be rolling with Forest Boyce. We already know the Boyce McGahey combination hits it.
They're very, very dangerous, and she went longer against tough company at Keeneland last time out. Steep kind of cut back though in terms of the distance from that mile 316 even, apologies, to the 5 furlong here. But I did like the way that she showed a bit of initial pace affinity last time at Keeneland.
Yeah, the pace was good enough. Just finding that. The mother, you look at the sprinter, 5.5 to 7. She was an absolute killer. So I think sprint might be just the perfect spot here for the 5.
But we both land on a first-time starter here for trainer Brittany Russell. Dialed in, I was looking at just some pedigree angles like we both love to do. Average first in numbers. But this is a filly that looks to be working very, very forwardly in the mornings for a good barn. Now, she's out of quite a talented mare in Collegiate. Grade 1 place mare. She ran 3rd in a Grade 1 spin away at Saratoga. Now, I was looking at some of the turf angle here. Quite intrigued by the fact that they're debuting here, sprinting on the turf instead of on the main track, which is what the bottom side kind of suggests would be much more to her liking.
Yeah, interesting. But Brittany, we trust with anything she throws out there. The last couple months, she's 5 for 10 with first-time starters. Just unreal streak. And you talk about a really fast horse. Has a horse that ran 100 by her on the dirt. The other higher price, Brittany, right?
Perfect move for 6.
With Aviles. Sometimes you take that higher price angle. This one, when you're looking at turf breeding, is probably a little bit more, right?
Yes. Vancouver 2-year-old champion in Australia, down under.
Half to a debut winner on the grass in Gale. The mare is 2 for 3 right out of the box with the debut runners. Maybe a little sneaky here, a little better price with the Aviles runner.
Might have to put a bit of a saver on the 6 perfect move.
I'm not leaving it out of my pick 4s, I can tell you that. Yep.
Race number 4 is claiming $10,000 to $8,000, nominated to lifetime events, 6 furlongs. The distance here, we're going to start with your top choice in here, the number 4, Special Freedom, for trainer Ferris Allen. Do a video spotlight where we have a look at her start, where she just bobbled ever so slightly, had to be used. You can see there, just kind of came inward, spread out a little bit as she took that first stride, moved up sharply to at least stay with the pack, and then kind of switches into clean air, then finds her path again inward, kind of a little bit all over the place.
Yeah, this is another horse that I just chase, and
continue to chase today.
Continue to chase. She just never gets it done. On the 10th, she was kind of hemmed in here, where you wanted to be outside, had to stay in, and the winner, the Shiny Penny, took the overland trip. Good job by the rider there. Was able to kind of keep her pinned in, right? And she has to kind of alter course a little bit, but she finishes up well, only beaten a half length by her 48. What's it going to take to win this? About a 48 should get it done. You're right. She might not have the gate speed, and she does have a tendency to get off a beat slow. But I do think Moonbiz might have some company with a filly like Summers 9 to the rail, who's an improving type for Wanseray, and maybe even Dauntless Gal. Now, Dauntless Gal has closed in sprints before, but maybe today for Special Freedom. 4176. I really don't love anybody in here.
Yeah, I went with the outside speedster and Moonbiz, just based on the fact that Kieran McGee has been very, very sharp here so far. Jean Novello is doing a terrific job. I love what she showed last time at over 6.5. Actually kind of prematurely took over, then got bested in the final strides. I think this distance is much more to her liking, and I don't mind the outside speed angle. I think that gives her some options. I know you're right. There is going to be a bit of a heated pace here, but we're going 6 furlongs. I don't mind that too much. She's the one I've most interest in here, and then Dauntless Gal is going to be very fast early too, as we take a small break, and we'll resume the morning show right after.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Welcome back. Pimlico Racecourse morning show here. 8 live races, including some turf events, and we're going to resume here with race number 5. Starts that late pick 4 that I decided to have a look at. 3 deep here in that first leg, 3, 5, and 7. Deep again in race 6, that allowance level on the turf. Hoping to get a bit of a price there. 5, 8, 10, and 12. I single in race number 7. Single on the number 5, Rominski, for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. I know they've always thought highly of him. I'm hoping that he's going to get a clean break. He uses early speed. And then I go 2 deep in the nightcap using Frightland for trainer Brittany Russell, as well as the number 5, Take Charge 2. First time starter for Kieran McGee. Don't want to get caught out by a horse I really don't know where to place just yet in terms of ability. $12 ticket in total. That starts in race number 5. So let's dive right in here. Keith, you landed on the number 5 in here, which is swaying to and fro for trainer Hamilton Smith. First start with Hammy. First start as a 3-year-old for this filly as well. Works seem to suggest that she's coming here doing well, and perhaps has taken that sort of maturity step forward, which also hopefully translate in a couple of higher buyer points. Yeah,
I'm just going to try to beat Doomscroller. No doubt. A deeper closer and swaying to and fro. I did see this filly down in South Carolina at the Ellery Trials. So she ran pretty well in that little race and got a little speed. Scratched out of a 40 claimer the other day. I think it was last Friday on Black Eyed Susan Day. Much better spot here today. You went and sought out Barbosa. A little chilly now, but he's certainly capable. I want to see this girl up on the engine this afternoon.
I mean, Barbosa, meet leading rider at Laurel Park in that heated battle with Jevin Toledo. Perhaps hasn't made that great of a start just yet. Can't deny that he's clearly been riding the circuit pretty effectively. Yeah, I landed on Doom Scroller.
Okay.
I know she's going to take a fair bit of money in here. I love that she's coming back onto the main track. One of my notes for that last turf outing that was also going long on the grass was that she just wasn't really taking to it. She wasn't grabbing that turf like we like to see. It felt like she just kind of spun her wheels a little bit. Dropped significantly in class. Brittany Russell can, of course, afford to be aggressive with these kind of types. So I'm on board here. Unfortunately, I know that the price is going to be in accordance with the move that the Russell Barn is making here.
No doubt, no doubt. And throw in looking spunky as well. Interesting scenario. Right out of the gate, maybe 3 or 4 strides out of the gate, she just reacted, kind of ducked in, swerved in. Bill's got as a comment. And then really found herself well back. But go watch the rerun if you can. She came about 4 wide for the drive and finished up quite well. And she came out of the gate okay. It's just something I might have caught her attention, just kind of threw her off a little bit. But once she got refocused, she finished up. So there's a price user in there, 10-1 morning line. We've seen Cruz and Annette Eubanks.
I was going to say it gets a veteran rider in Angel, journeyman rider, I should say, in Angel Cruz on board here, which sometimes could turn things around as well. I also threw in a firster for trainer Andrew Ali. Had to have a look. It's a trainer who hasn't had that many runners over the last couple of years, but had a few runners before that, so certainly knows how to train. Definitely had a few runners in 2009, 2008, 2010. So just intrigued to see a first-time starter coming in with a sharp gate work, 48 flat. Breeze from the gate here at Pimlico. Kind of wanted to at least make sure I wasn't getting caught out here. And then both of us throw in the number 8 Harper's Due as well for Mary Story Jr. Race number 6 is our feature race today. Fillies and Mares 3-year-old and up. Maryland bred, Maryland sired runners in here. Another fun event. Look, I was looking at this race and I'm kind of, you saw that on my ticket as well. I spread a little bit in here. I feel like I could make a case for a couple. You and I agree in terms of our runners, 5 furlongs on the turf. Let's start with your top selection in here. That is number 5, White Knuckle Flyer. We have a video of this individual. We haven't seen her in 6.5 months. We see her here 2 starts back. That was her last turf event. Inside draw, good bit of pace there. You saw a loose leader, 16-1 on Better Call Mama. Love the way White Knuckle Flyer was holding her pace there, cornering pretty decently and then absolutely relishing the challenge of trying to reel in that sharp leader there.
And the number is good. 66 buyer figure for a 2-year-old and just sustains the run, runs down the loose leader. I like that. She's going to have some definite speed to target this afternoon. A little over the left lead there, but I'm not terribly concerned about that. Dale Capuano had a runner the other day, Radical Right, who made a big improve. Similar kind of style, 2-year-old to 3-year-old, a big jump, 10 or 12 points. And that was also back on Lasix now on the turf course. So that kind of angle and playing that angle, the White Knuckle Flyer, I think a square price is about 9-2 on this runner. Horse to beat, though, Golden Can, really proven crack type of sprinter here.
Yeah, that was my
this mare is going to be very tough from start to finish.
Yeah, and she got that run under her belt after the break over the winter. That was on the main track. She's going to come back a much more, seasoned mare for this. I just think she's a little bit exposed in comparison, perhaps White Knuckle Flyer, but we know what we got with her, and if she jumps back up to some of those higher buys, higher 70s, perhaps lower 80, I think she's much better than any of these in this field. Has the kind of right running styles, very tactical, can take over the lead if nobody goes. Jevin Toledo knows this runner well. I'm on board with her here, but I love your top pick with White Knuckle Flyer. Do you have to give some quick love to number 12 Grand Skylark for trainer Susan Cooney, who is also returning after a lengthy break in here, but also returns to that preferred surface over which she's ran a career best 3 starts back at Laurel Park. Has run at Pimlico before as well. Definitely a user in here.
Yeah, the post is the biggest concern. Man, I'd like to see her down in the 2 or 3 spot where she could kind of save as much ground as possible, stay covered up, and just enhance that little run from the 3/16. I just worry about her being hung out when making that run because she's really, I don't know if she can quite sustain, but she's got races on her page that do work. And fool yourself, is sprinting racing really the game? Is this going to be a prep? But she's proven. And again, there is a lot of speed signed on for this race, Naomi. So it wouldn't surprise me if For Yourself came absolutely flying here for Claudio.
Yeah, Bandit's Warrior might even take the leader.
Quick.
Half sibling to Anna's. Bandit, of course, for the Jerry Robb barn, now taking to the turf for the first time in her career, but very, very fast. And has the right kind of profile in terms of physicality that I think that she can carry that speed on the turf as well.
Yep. Okay.
Race number 7 is actually our feature apology for a minor mistake there before. 6 furlongs the distance here. We are actually in unison, Keith. It hasn't happened as frequently yet. I think this might be the second time we have the same top pick with the number 5 in here, Rominski for trainer Claudio Gonzalez. I highlighted he's my single. They've always thought very highly of him. Hasn't been away as cleanly from the get-go. I feel like that's maybe what has been holding him back ever so slightly. I am hoping that now in his 4th career start, he can continue to develop and become a bit more professional in terms of that finished thoroughbred racehorse product.
We showed his rerun, if I'm not mistaken, that race back on the 28th prior to his race on May the 5th. Really good effort. Great ride that day. Trouble beginning. Was able to relax and came with that run. Last time, it's just a little bump at the gate, ran into a good horse. Really good horse. Super love for Damon Dilladovico. He's got the right kind of style. Some speed types, Hagler, Free Square. Yeah, they go. This guy can go right with them. He might be able to just kind of force them into the ground and just keep going in this race. Second off the break, comes in with a good work. I use Most Perfect, absolutely. Not a real kind of eye-catching, final time of 13-1. The buyer is there. Looked at some other sources of handicapping sources. The figures pan out for this race. A little bit of reach when talking about company, but Most Perfect. Do we have that video?
I do believe we have a, we have a replay on him, right?
This guy is worth a look here for Trombetta.
I thought he was very professional in that first outing. He sits behind the pace, takes a fair bit of kickback, has to really navigate, the pack and navigate the traffic there, but is happy to do so for Jockey Bracho, and he focuses right to the wire. Normally we see first-time starters, once they hit the front, like Most Perfect is about to do here, sort of mid-stretch, you see they get a bit wary, right? Start looking around. Not this individual, very, very professional, kept a task there and just clears home. That was a 1-2 for the Trombetta Warren, a 1-2 for Moser as well as a sire. And then Moser Safe, who you can see there on his inside, came back and to win as well next time out with a 55 buyer. Kind of just franking that performance. Yeah,
and looking at this, talking about the debut winners. Here's the stat for Trombetta last 3 years on the dirt. 4 for 14, 29%, 7 for 14 in the money. You win your first out, you come back, you run big. 285 is the ROI. Well-schooled animal right there. You saw him handle that early traffic, tucked in behind horses, got out in the clear, sustained, stayed on his correct lead. You don't see that too often, so not a huge reach here for Most Perfect. He's got to improve a little bit. Rominski's going to be very tough.
Yeah, race number 8 is our nightcap, maiden claiming 4-32,000, 6 furlongs at distance, heavy favorite with the number 2 there, Frightland for trainer Brittany Russell, who seems to have a couple of very live runners today. Of course, secured her first trainer's title at the spring meet at Laurel Park and continuing with that momentum for sure. Fergal Lynch remains on board. They went to the turf with him, now returned to the main track. Both were very decent performances, keying that sort of flexibility of this 4-year-old runner.
No doubt. I mean, turf, dirt, short, might even be able to carry it a little bit. We know the family. We're familiar with that. Really good, encouraging debut behind the other Russell runner, Jemison. You're talking about a 68 buyer fig and a real gritty effort with a rebid on the turf. Back to the dirt. Awfully short price. Who's going to jump up? You got a couple firsts. There's the 3 they only spent $8,000 for out of Madalena. Madalena won her first 3 races, and I just missed in a grade 1, but only an $8,000 purchase. She's had 8 runners, 1 win, 1 second, and 2/3 with those debut runners. So it might be a little bit of a user in there. Kieran's first. Rixie Rocket ran okay in that race, right in the Lindros race, along with Frightland. Interesting. Kind of flashed a little foot, dropped back, came again, slight flatten. Now we're going to go Lasix on. We're going to go blinkers on. Rixie Rocket, bred to handle the main track, should be fine.
Yeah, I used her underneath as well off that first time start, as that will conclude a bit of a windy morning show here. And we'll move on to lightning round. We're going to keep reminding you that in race number 3, we have the Rainbow Pick 6 starting with a 432 grand carryover, courtesy of that tremendous weekend that we just came out of. So make sure to handicap your sequence, get your ticket in on time to be live, to possibly get that life-changing score here. As we do want to look back at the weekend that was, of course, starting with the 147th running of the Preakness Stakes, where we did see Chad Brown secure a second career Preakness win with early voting. It was the first for jockey Jose Ortiz. And of course, Klarvich, Seth Klarman, that was his second as well, because they did pull the same trick in 2017 with Cloud Computing, bypassing the Kentucky Derby, coming out of that Wood Memorial. But what a strong performance here from early voting, sitting behind Armagnac and then just moving over, being much the best there. And do see a heavy favorite Epicenter trying to make up some ground there on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, early voting got great position, broke sharp. Said, okay, Armagnac, go ahead. Armagnac was a little keen early, keyed up. He moved to the outside and just kind of measured that rival. And I knew kind of going past the 5/8 pole, I was like, this guy's going to be really tough to beat. He was full of run. Jock was just kind of peeking back at the quarter pole.
Yeah.
Great effort by Epicenter. Came off maybe just came away okay, but maybe just not super sharp. And a couple horses got shuffled. The filly got knocked around, really kind of eliminated early. She made a valiant kind of a run, caught 4 and 5 wide every step of the way to threaten upper stretches, couldn't quite sustain. But Epicenter, he's a good horse, and you're going to hear about him, I'm sure, all summer long. We've got something to look forward to with a couple of these 3-year-olds moving forward.
Absolutely. Of course, we also wanted to highlight the feature event for the fillies on the Friday, Black Eyed Susan Day. Did have a first Black Eyed Susan win for trainer Brad Cox, as well as Florent Giroux with Interstate Daydream, who did run behind Ness in her last outing. Of course, Ness came back to run second in the Oaks, but she put it all together in here.
She really relaxed, just off the pace. And again, it was like, okay, midway on the final turn, she's still got plenty of run. Was able to separate herself from the field, and that was it. I'm sure this won't be the first and only win, right, for Brad Cox and the Black Eyed Susan.
And of course, we did have Luna Bell in there, who perhaps didn't get away as sharply or didn't fire on the day as much as we would have hoped from her against these.
No, right out of the gates, it was over. She just gave herself too much to do. Unfortunate. Hopefully, she came back well. I haven't heard really any reports. Maybe you have, but hopefully, the story's a great story. And trust me, she's got a lot of talent. She comes back, she'll make some noise.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be betting her when she returns. That's for sure. As we round up the morning show here with the standings, get you the updated trainer and jockey standings. So we're looking at the jockeys right there. Jevin Toledo, just making sure everyone knows who the Maryland leading rider truly is.
Yeah, he's telling these apprentice riders, get away. No, he wants to hammer this one down. It looks like he's well on his way. He's got a 4-win cushion over Carrasco. Carrasco riding well along with Jamie Rodriguez. So I don't think we're going to see Ortiz or Saez anymore, will we?
Yeah, I don't believe so. Okay. Probably not.
So we don't have to worry about them. So it's a 3-horse race.
Victor had a terrific weekend.
Yeah.
He's been riding the lights out, especially on the turf. So congratulations to him. Let's move on to the trainer standings as well. Brittany Russell still holding sway there, but Michael Trombetta had a good weekend as well. We mentioned Joe with the victory on the turf. Jamie Ness very strong. Ricky Silliman, Graham Motion. This is a deep training colony with runners that are clearly presenting the bonds in the best possible light. So intrigued to see who might come out on top as we conclude Pimlico Preakness meet on Monday.
Absolutely. A little cooler out here today, huh?
It is.
It's refreshing. It feels good.
It was a very warm weekend, so certainly the cooler weather is welcomed by all, especially the runners, I dare say. We do have some rising temperatures again, I believe, tomorrow as well as over the weekend. So take what we can get today, right?
And thanks to everybody, that was out on the track working with these horses and keeping everything in order, getting them the water, everything that they needed. That was great. Great team effort all the way through over the weekend. Can't thank everybody enough for all of their support here at Pimlico for the Preakness week.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly second that sentiment. So we'll say goodbye for now. I will be back this afternoon with Tim Tulloch, and we'll divert your attention to Dave Rodman to update you on today's scratches and changes.
All right, everybody. Good luck.